Stoner metal legend Sleep put out an album this year on 420, and this album is not an album you listen to and discard it. No, this is an album worth a replay and discussion. For those who do not know who Sleep is, I want to talk about their discography and why this album is so special. Sleep is responsible for releasing a single song, Dope Smoker, that clocks in at 63 minutes and 31 seconds, only a drop in the bucket for what the members of Sleep has done for music. The band is made of a trio of doom metal icons Matt Pike, El Cisneros, and Jason Roeder, who are responsible for putting stoner metal music to the forefront. Known for lengthy songs, memorable, fuzzy, heavy riffs, and sluggish, cumbersome tempos on top-notch albums such as Sleep's Holy Mountain, Jerusalem, and Dope Smoker, they certainly mastered their craft. This band combines heavy metal with psychedelic rock, hashing at a guitar with thunderous percussion. After the release of Dope Smoker, Sleep disbanded for 15 years to continue doing music through other acts such as and High on Fire, and the drummer came from the band Neurosis. The band got back together in 2009 and occasionally toured and played music festivals when time permitted with their busy schedules. The band clearly has not been on hiatus, with even Al stating in an interview in 2014 that the band was working on an album and the release date has finally came and went. On 4-19, they took to social media telling fans to stand by in Morse code, but fans did not know they were going to release an album the very next day, on 420 no less. This monstrous California band released their fifth album, The Scientist, under Third Man Records. The question still remains though, is the album good, and how does it hold up to their other albums? Well, let me talk about that. First song on the album starts off with the title track, which is a 3-minute, all-out, haphazard yet kind of cumbersome orchestrated controlled guitar tune, being the shortest track on the album, but I feel like it could have been shorter for being sort of a guitar check. Honestly, not much to say compared to the other songs on this album, this being the weakest song of the album, best described as an ambient track. The second song on the album, which in my opinion is the first real song, is Marijuana's Theme. Marijuana's Theme starts off with a bone rip followed by a very doom metal-like fuzzy guitar playing with sound layering, feedback, and percussion, making this heavy, relentless, mesmerizing tune that you just want to get lost and jam to. The lyrics even advertise exploring into another world. Also, really like the clever lyrics at the end, splash down on the THC. It's the third shortest song on the album, and it's 7 minutes long. Also, a nice nod to Black Sabbath with Planet Iomia Nearing. Can definitely hear a bit of Black Sabbath in this track and following tracks. Next song on the album is Sonic Titan, which has been a part of the band's discography since the 90s, being played live at shows, included as a bonus track on the 2003 TP issue of Dope Smoker, and it finally made its way to the studio, and it's the best song on this already phenomenal album, with its morbid, devilish vibe slowing down more from the last track, setting into this high of sorts. The middle of the song has a softer bass interlude which gets cut off from a booming instrumental with Al's vocals hypnotizing and taking over the listener's ear, with a subtle yet a hell-turning over moment halfway through the song. This song is not as progressive as other songs, but it's still hypnotic and leaves you lost in the spacey world, to be blunt. This song is a real slow burner. Okay, sorry for all these ridiculous puns, I just thought they were too good not to join in. Okay, that last one was pretty awful. Let us pass it to the next song. The next song is called Antarctican's Thought. It starts with a thick bass and wah guitar effects, just giving this eerie vibe. It is worth noting this is the longest song on the album at 14 minutes 23 seconds, over 1/4 of the album. The dynamics in this song just grip listeners in with fierce guitar sound and drums throbbing away in fast tempo. The last minute of the song has Matt Pike shredding the guitar in a fuzzy fashion. Again, Al's cold vocals give me chills. Second to last song on the album and last long cut is Geezer Butler, which the title pays homage to the founding member of Black Sabbath, a British bassist, Geezer Butler. Since the title mentions Black Sabbath's founding bassist, no surprise this song is bass-driven and has that classic Black Sabbath ominous tone. Some parts of the song are a little disappointing, but this is quickly turned around thanks to Al's blaring, booming vocals. It takes the tempo from Antarctican's Thoughts and hypnotic vibes from Sonic Titans and meshes them together. And on the final track, we have The Botanist, the second shortest song on the album. The bellowing vocals are no more, and it's a change up from the entire album, with Matt Pike's mellow guitar pickings feeling sorrow and calm, but at the same time powerful and epic, a perfect example of early psychedelic rock. And the second half comes in with a final hoorah of dreary electric guitar feedback solo, finishing out what has to be one of the best metal comeback albums in years from one of the best doom metal bands of all time. This album, The Science, is a near perfect example of what made Sleep such a critical band in the heavy metal genre, with great instrumentation, lyricism, nicely composed, well performed, nothing feels forced, an all-around fantastic band, and their new album is something that everyone should experience if they like heavy metal. If I haven't mentioned enough about lyrics, these lyrics focus about space and science fiction, as the album cover would suggest, and clever weed puns. This is not lyrical by any stretch, but is meant more as a intriguing and entertainment factor. Lyrics are not the most important part in doom metal, but when they are, they play a nice role. Don't feel out of place when they are or are not there. Like I did early in this discussion, I want to talk about the band members again because they deserve a ton of credit. Pike sounds even rawer than previous albums while still having the same riffs and tuning after all this time. Al's vocals go into a perfect harmony with all his instrumentation, and his bass still sounds groovy and uses less wahs than previous albums. Jason Roeder may not sit well with others, being the new member of the band and not being Chris, but Roeder fits in perfect in this talented trio. This album feels like it explores what artistic ideas Al and Matt had in all the music they did over the years, put it all together in this 6-song album. Arguable though, some riffs are similar to the same mix with dull, dark compositions and a whole lot of sound layering, but that's what stoner/doom metal is, and it's certainly not everyone's cup of tea. I understand that. The opening song did not have to be so long and drawn out, but it is the only complaint I have, which is in my opinion no big deal. Sonic Titan and Arctic and Thought could have been in an EP with their song The Clarity, but they are still two well-executed songs, and I'm happy to see them on this album. Sleep still shows they dominate what they dominated 2 decades ago. What more can you ask of a stoner/doom metal band? They are heavy, riveting, raw, hypnotic, sluggish, and psychedelic. This album also has vocals and instrumentation that sound clear, but not overproduced or trying too hard to be squeaky polished. The production is perfect. 5 out of 6 tracks are phenomenal, the only one being the opening song, which, what can you expect, it's an opening song. An amazing album, not perfect obviously, just straight to the point and has many highs. Can I fill in any more weed puns in this video? Yes, I can of this. Anyways, I love this album, rated with an 8.5 out of 10, must listen for any and every fan of the genre, and deserve all the praise it has received since it came out over a month ago. As Sleep albums go, this album is a middle-of-the-pack album for them, but albums in general, one of the best albums that came out this year. Other doom metal bands' latest albums, most notably Electric Wizards, fall flat out and lose their touch or feel rehashed, but Sleep does what Sleep does best while feeling new. How the same old can feel so different and make a 20-year break from this band, especially in a genre like this, can only be done by the supergroup Sleep.